Welcome to my channel. If you are an old friend, then welcome back. For those of you who don't know, this is my collection of dragonflies, which I'm obsessed with because it is my spirit animal. And they are lovingly known as the Council. So, we are finally out of Mercury retrograde. There is a shift in the energy. We also have some pretty strong CMEs, solar storms that have been, heading towards Earth, that are probably hitting right about now. And some of you may be so in tune with yourselves and the Earth that you may actually feel these energies as they enter the atmosphere or as they bounce off of the Earth. So you may feel this slight vibration. In fact, these energies may be bouncing off of you and causing a certain vibration that you can feel or are aware of. Now, they may be being sent towards you in order to cause a shift in the vibration of you and others. We've already done readings before about this, type of energy shift, and that, it is coming from the sun, as well as planetary alignments and things like that. It all comes together to work, to bring God's plan, basically, to fruition. So if you, it's like if you don't have faith, full faith, and you truly are one of these people that just has to believe in the science. Well, believe it or not, there is in fact a science to it. But God likes faith first. So if you believe, then God will reveal how it all works. And will reveal spirit to you and communicate to you and through you. But I suppose if you want to cheat and just skip to the proof part, you could do that, but you'd only be cheating yourself, because faith is pretty important on this journey. But just to know and understand for your own sake that there is evidence. And we are actually very lucky to be alive in a time where we can see these things. We can pick up on the energies, on the anomalies. We can, figure out what the patterns are and things like that because of technology being, where it's at today. Which is, of course, as with everything, no coincidence. So let's just start out with a couple of cards here. I don't have room for all this stuff. Let me see if I can move some of this stuff over. Okay. All right. that over there. And see what we can... Oh, good Lord. See what we can get on the current energies. And or, why. And, it's like many people have a path and a plan. The number 2. And the last shall be first, and the first shall be last. Meek shall inherit the earth. So everybody has, a divine, godly plan for their life. And I hate to say that, being that we live in a false reality, which we call the Matrix, most people are not on that path, are not, in tune or in sync with that divine plan. But there is a group of what is called the 144,000. Some people seem to think that it is 144,000 people. I believe it is more than that. I believe that it is those who are on the frequency, the 144,000, frequency, which is hard to explain. But it is a certain frequency that maybe possibly connects these people. See, that faith we were talking about, that big, deep inner knowing, the energy, faith. So the 144,000 it's like a group or collection of people that are all on that same wavelength or frequency of 144,000, which I believe are the spiritual warriors who are the army of God, the legions of angels. Okay? A goal without a timeline is simply a dream. My heart hurts. Self. Yeah. So this to me is very much giving that 144,000 spiritual warrior angels, armies of angels type of vibe here, right? They're the ones that willingly go into battle, who take on the pain of the world on themselves, who have the faith and know what the goal is. And from this, first shall be last, last shall be first, meek shall inherit the earth, I'm getting that that's the goal here. Like I said, we're in this false reality matrix. And the reason why is because somewhere along the way, possibly Yahweh, who probably has many names, but ultimately was a very powerful sorcerer, wizard, magician, basically took over what did not belong to, I'm going to say him because it is a masculine energy, but it could be that this entity has incarnated as female as well. But the point is, it took over. And flipped things around, you know, took God's plan basically and flipped it on its head. And so what is being done at this point in time energetically is very much to undo that, to break that spell, to break that hex, to break that curse. And, you know, it's like the last shall be first and the first shall be last. It's like putting things in their proper place. You know, fixing what was done or undoing what needed to be fixed. Okay. Now, part of the reason that we have faith is to prove to God, you know, that we believe. And as a spiritual warrior, you take that big, deep inner knowing and you grow it through research, through, you know, finding the knowledge, proving what you know to be true, what you believe. And that is all part of the spiritual journey, which is the goal. We have blessed, exchanging gifts, and higher power. So another part of the goal is to connect with the higher power and grow and expand or exchange your spiritual gifts with the higher power, but also with each other. And these are blessings. They're meant to be blessings, but in a world that punishes those, you know, in a false reality, punishes those who know the truth or seek the truth or are bringing in the truth, it can be a curse or feel as if it is. But it is truly meant to be a blessing. And one day it will be. Because every person that wakes up to the truth and gets on their true path helps to bring in or break down the false reality and bring in that, you know, truth, that original truth. So, let's see, what do we have here that might help us? No more chances. So one of the things that I am getting here is that for the spiritual warriors on the front lines of the battle, right? It is a very difficult and fine line because they are the ones who are loving and selfless and part of what is so difficult and why I think we're a little behind, or were a little behind in our journey and towards our goal, is because they are so loving and kind, it has been used against them as part of the warfare. And so they have had to come to the realization that they have to stop caring so much about these people who are actually, you know, their opposition. And they have to cut them off and not give them any more chances. right? Past. Yeah, past people, no more chances. Right? Hat trick. Because they're tricky. Actually, much like this this Yahweh character, right? It's actually very much like a trickster spirit, a clone. This is, I don't know, it's kind of a long story, but, you know, basically these people without souls who have been, you know, created without souls, is what I'm getting from this. Or these people who are just like cookie cutter, you know, they're all alike because they don't understand or have their own individuality, which God made us all to be individuals. And Yahweh, if you know anything about the Anunnaki, you know, you might understand a little bit more what that might mean. And if you don't, maybe start watching Billy Carson. Flying monkeys. Siblings. Helping. Protection, but it was reversed, so it might be reversed. The line. Sticker. Cain and Abel. Okay. So, yeah, I'm glad I waited to pull all those out to get the full scope. A lot of these spiritual warriors, right? We, you know, we have a mission. We know our mission. We are awake to the matrix. We are not trying to participate in the matrix, right? And when that happens, you know, the matrix or those in it, those who support it, can turn against you. And sometimes those people can be your own siblings even, you know, the people closest to you. Can be henchmen, basically, clones, for the false reality. Or they are just so deeply entrenched in this delusion, you know, that they don't even realize what they're doing. They are helping, you know, the wrong side, basically, knowingly or unknowingly. You know, there's a thin line, you know, between love and hate. And, you know, sometimes these siblings cross that line. Again, knowingly or unknowingly. And instead of protecting you like they should, they end up, you know, being part of the problem. And helping, you know, these past people, ancient past even, you know, try to complete their hat trick. And, you know, Cain and Abel, this may be this entire war, you know, between the real reality and the false reality, and the magicians and the ancients and the bloodlines and all this stuff. I mean, it can all come down to a sibling rivalry, you know, ultimately. That how silly that all of this mess could come down to, you know, simply two siblings who disagreed, fought, you know. What else? Skull, hidden secrets can harm you. And rabbit, too much concern with sexual matters. I'm getting that part of this false reality, this matrix, is able to operate and grab hold of so many people so deeply in their delusions because of sexual matters, secrets that we don't know about sex and how powerful it is, the meaning of it, what happens when you abuse it or use it incorrectly, kind of thing. And most people don't know. And it is so in this false reality matrix, kind of made to be normalized, to be promiscuous and very, nonchalant about this extremely potent, powerful, important energy. All right, tell me more. King of Pentacles. Protective, authority, abundance, prosperity, generosity, comfort, and discipline. Yeah. So it's like, I'm specifically getting about like the sexual energy at this point is like, I meant overall, by the way. But most people are not disciplined, you know what I mean, with their sexual energy and how they use their sexual energy. Right, exactly. Okay, King of Wands. Most okay, so it's like King of Wands versus King of Pentacles in the upright versus King of Wands in the reverse. Okay, so it's like being disciplined, responsible, like very reliable and loyal. Okay, and like understanding the importance and the magic, and like being responsible with it, okay, kind of thing, versus a King of Wands in reverse, which is very promiscuous, right? Okay, it's very impulsive, unpredictable, kind of also like disregard for the consequences kind of thing. And it may be that there is not just a spiritual aspect to this, but a physical one. Maybe there's more to this, swapping of energies, but really like swapping of bodily fluids and bacterias and that we're not understanding, that is possibly diminishing our capacity, maybe one, to do magic, to use our own magic, but two, maybe even just to function, maybe it creates confusion. I do believe that God does have a plan for us that involves, for most of us, a certain partner, or maybe, I'm not saying that there's one particular person, but that there's a certain type of person that maybe you are supposed to be with, right? That is part of the plan, for you to be with people more like yourself. And that it's becoming harder and harder for people to find that other half, better half kind of thing, because of this over-sexualization. Which hinders the plan and the goal. Seven of Wands. I'm getting two things from this. One is that most people don't know how to protect themselves energetically, magically, spiritually, but also not enough people are protecting themselves, using protection, when they are doing these sexual acts, right, with the wrong people. Right, the Lovers. Sexuality, passion, exactly, right? It's not, it's like too many people are in a lover's union rather than a Two of Cups divine union, is what I'm getting, okay? And it's like, we were talking about the 144,000, so it's like maybe these people who are on that certain frequency are really meant to be with each other, kind of thing. And, too many of them are getting distracted, and therefore not able to come into those divine unions, which is affecting, the plan as a whole. They're getting lost or caught up in that false reality matrix. Abundance, manifestation, opportunity. Yeah. I'm getting that these divine Two of Cups, spiritual unions are supposed to come together as these physical unions as well. And that when they do, or if they do, certain manifestations will come from them. Possibly even, people, certain souls in physical bodies. It's like there are souls needing to be born in order to help us get on the right path or track that aren't able to be born because these divine unions are not coming into place. Nine of Pentacles. I'm not quite sure. Clarify the Nine of Pentacles. Clarify the Nine of Pentacles. Clarify the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so we had the King of Pentacles. Now we have the Queen of Pentacles. And the Two of Wands. So what I'm getting from this is that, with our original two cards here, is that these King of Pentacles, these upstanding men and women, right? Okay. They're being led astray and turned into these King of Wands. So it's like good, loving, loyal husbands, right? Being tempted and, turned into these King of Wands hoe bags, basically. And leaving, their Queen of Pentacles, right? It's like Adam and Eve, right? And Adam was tempted, right? And basically leaving these Queen of Pentacles, leaving their other halves, or never even being able to truly find their other half because they're in this King of Wands reverse energy. And that is the plan of the Matrix, right? It's not God's plan, but it's somebody's plan, right? And I'm getting that from the Queen of Pentacles coming out with this, that the women, they see more of the reality. Unfortunately, the men and, those in masculine energy, because women can be in masculine energy too, that are just too promiscuous and, and falling prey to these addictions and stuff, because yeah, I mean, sex addiction is an addiction in itself, right? Porn addiction is an addiction in itself. But even if you have other addictions, whether it be fucking something simple that you may not even realize is harmful, like video games, or drugs or alcohol, these addictions can be used to take you away from your true partner and led astray. And I do believe that addictions, are running rampant in this day and age, right? The Empress. Speaking of addictions, and we have the Empress, I feel that just as many mothers, have been led astray of these female divine feminines by addiction as well. That's part of the false reality matrix. Why do you think there are so many things in this world today to be addicted to? Because it distracts you from the real reality. That's why it's so important, if you have addictions, to clear those out, cleanse them from yourself and from your bloodline. If you can conquer that addiction, then you are helping future generations to do it as well. And that's part of some of our purpose here, right? Some of us warriors, part of the goal, maybe, to conquer our own addictions and help others with theirs. And, sometimes people can be addicted to being sad and toxic, right? The drama. There's so much, you know what I mean, that people just don't even realize. And that's the truth. Right there. That's the truth. That's the truth. And, once we start focusing on these things, on these addictions, and releasing all kinds of toxicities, once we refuse to participate in that false reality matrix and learn to want to live and actually live and stand in the true reality, that's when things are going to start to get better. That's when we're going to start to see worldwide results. But know that the universe is helping, right? These planetary alignments, these, energies being sent towards us from the sun. All of these things affect the energy and you. And we can harness, right? We can harness the power of this energy, this gift, right? This gift from God. The energy is a gift. In order to bring in our manifestations. But what are you manifesting? Do you even know? Maybe it's time to start figuring that out. Because if you're just trying to manifest money, power, a house, a car, a hot wife, a childless life, you know what I mean? Then you're doing it wrong, right? It's like I said in another video recently, it's like praying, but what are you praying for, right? What you're praying for needs to be in alignment with God's plan. So if you've been praying for something and it's not coming through, maybe it's because you're not praying for the right things. Maybe you need to be praying to get out of the false reality matrix, to be shown the way out, to have the truth revealed to you, and to help you get on your path. those are the kind of prayers that are going to be heard and fulfilled. So I hope that this has helped you in some way, shape, or form. I hope that if nothing else, it has entertained you for a few moments in time. And I hope that if you haven't already, you will like, share, and subscribe to the video and or the channel. And I will see you again.